Widows, boys and girls, how are you all doing? Today's video is a little different. This isn't a debunking video as such. This is more of a why I do what I do, why I get as annoyed as I do, and the reasoning probably behind why most of the debunkers do what they do, why we do it, and the way that we do it. And the reason I'm wanting to do this is I'm sick of defending myself. I am sick of defending the other debunkers, and I'm sick of defending the other real paranormal investigation teams that are out there. Not sick of those people themselves, just sick of arguing with fan bases that are like, it's real, it's all real. It's not. It's not. Now, you don't have to take my word for it. You don't have to believe everything that I see. But a lot of the channels that you people are watching, and a lot of the channels that you believe in, and you think that is how the paranormal works, I've been investigating longer than some of these people have had pulses. So let that sink in. Just because this channel is only 2 years old doesn't mean that I haven't been doing this a lot longer. 2004, first time I ever went out and It wasn't investigating, it was ghost hunting. And I was sorely disappointed because nothing happened. I'd been watching Most Haunted, so, you know, me and my friends, this is normally a jovial story. We go out and we try to talk to the dead. We're waiting for the knocks, we're waiting for the taps, we're waiting for the stones to throw. Nothing ever happened. And we're like, well, maybe these channels are filming things every night of the week, but then there's that one little nugget, that one event here and there. But since 2004, I can count the amount of paranormal things that have happened to me outside of my own home on one hand. Things that have truly left me like, I don't know, what's the explanation for that? But this isn't about that. This is about the detrimental effect of the fakers on the paranormal at large. So in the last 10 to 20 years, there has been a surge in popularity of the paranormal. And that surge has been bolstered by social media, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, because there are channels dedicated to the paranormal on all of those platforms. There are people that discuss the paranormal on all of those platforms. And I'd like to think that the majority of people that are involved in the paranormal do it from a place of, I hope it's real, or I'm just looking for the truth. Whether it's all real, all can be explained away, whatever the case is. And this isn't just about ghost hunting. This can fall into UFOs, cryptozoology, the supernatural phenomena. But along with the trend of people having an interest in the paranormal, there's been a surge in something else. And that surge is the fakers. And what the fakers are doing is they're prioritizing fame, money, and sensationalism over honesty and fact. So what these individuals and groups are doing is they are knowingly fabricating paranormal activity, and they're using that to attract followers, subscribers, donators, maintaining popularity and profiting from their own public image. But these actions are having a profound effect on serious paranormal investigators. They're undermining legitimate research, and they are, for want of a better term, disillusioning those that are seeking the real answers. Because every time somebody says this app allows you to talk to the dead, somebody is downloading that app looking to talk to their loved ones for one last time, and they're left in a mess when they can't. And I'm not just saying this for the sake of it. I get emails about this all of the time. I have one lady that is so terrified of the paranormal that I get emails off her almost weekly. I've seen this clip, can you debunk this because I can't sleep tonight? I don't have an issue with doing that to help somebody out. What I do have an issue with is people are watching this fake rubbish and then they're fearing it, or they're getting upset because they can't speak to their loved ones. And I'm not raking over old ground here. There was a channel faking shit in their own home. I kept busting them. Their own audience turned on them. And now that they've come out and said, yeah, it was fake all along, people have been left devastated that they stuck up for them. Devastated of the amount of money they put into the channel. Annoyed that they have bought merch. And then ultimately, when the truth came out, just cast to one side. And then the content continues like nothing ever happened. Take that aside, one of the other most harmful aspects of this paranormal fakery is how their actions tarnish the reputation of legitimate channels. Legitimate channels could go out there, capture something legitimately on camera that could be, wow, that's paranormal, and immediately it's going to get written off because there is so much bullshit out there right now. And I'm not talking about YouTube channels here. I'm talking about the legitimate paranormal investigators that adhere to scientific methods, thorough documentation, skepticism in the research, and a genuine love of the unexplained phenomena. They often work in a community where ridicule and skepticism by the broader public already pose significant challenges. And the rise of these individuals that are blatantly fabricating their evidence, whether that be through doctored videos, staged photographs, manipulated audio recordings, it reinforces the sort of mainstream public perceptions that the entire field is fraudulent. When fake evidence surfaces and is later debunked by myself or others, and I'm not just talking about YouTube here, I'm talking across the board about paranormal research in general. When fake evidence surfaces and is in turn then debunked by people like myself, The Shape, Mr. Grey, whoever, it then casts doubt on all legitimate paranormal investigators. People outside of this community, the debunking community, will often struggle to distinguish between people who are genuinely attempting to explore the unknown and those that are just chasing fame. Even seasoned investigators are going to get called into question if they happen to uncover something that could be extraordinary. It'll simply get swept to one side. Because I'm guilty of this. A skeptic, a debunker, a critical thinker is far more likely to draw some sort of parallel between the well-publicised hoaxes and what has been portrayed by what are potentially real teams. And this is tainting the entire body of work done by anyone in the paranormal field with even a sniff of legitimacy about them. And it makes it really difficult for any serious investigators to gain any sort of credibility or traction in the public eye. There are teams out there right now who are making ghost hunting videos or paranormal investigation videos that are beautifully shot, that are so open and honest, where they debunk their own evidence and things like that, and they just get looked over for this sensational bullshit that is all over YouTube, all over TikTok, all over Facebook. And the tactics of the fakers to defend that, it's getting low, like really low. Copyright claims, claims of bullying, claims of toxicity, all while defending a lie. And I've made an active decision the last year to calm down, to be less confrontational, to be more professional. I think it's undermining what I do, because I'm getting emails off fakers like, yeah, I disagree, and I disagree because of whatever. And then I start to question myself. And then I'll catch somebody blatantly faking something, and I'm 100% caught without a shadow of a doubt. And then you get these comments and emails and messages like, "No, you're wrong. You're wrong. I would never do such a thing. I would never tarnish my reputation, my channel's reputation. Why would I ever possibly do that?" Well, make it rain. It's all about the money. Pure and simple. If you're on YouTube, everything is about money. If your channel is monetized, and there's nothing wrong with it, it's all about the money. It's the intention and the honesty about it. While I don't think a lot of people set out with the express intention of getting famous and rich off YouTube, because it's so bloody hard to do, once that success and the money rears its head, it's far easier to get absorbed into it and then think, right, I've got to put everything into this. I've done it with this channel. I've put everything into this channel. My downtime is when I play Warzone, and even then I'm streaming it on this channel because I love what I do. But what I don't do is bullshit people. What I don't do is lie to people or take money out of their pockets based on fabrications. And while people will sit there and say you're toxic, you're costing these channel money, you're hurting their views, you're hurting their channel, you're hurting their growth, so be it. Because if I was a channel that was going after scammers, you know, the guys that ring up an office and like, "I'm in your computer, you've been scamming people, I'm taking all your money," and then they watch their money dwindle away, those people don't feel bad about doing that. I shouldn't feel bad about doing that. Because unless your video has a disclaimer stating for entertainment purposes only, you're scamming people. You are putting out a content claiming it to be one thing when it is clearly another. And I'm getting more and more frustrated now than a year ago when I was going to war with everyone and screaming and shouting at people. And I'm getting more frustrated because I've been open and honest with people. I've been nice to people. I've been nice to people that I have caught faking, and I'm trying to get their input and their thoughts, and I'm just greeted with lies. I'm greeted by lies, bullshit and greed. And it's making me rethink the way that I do things. Maybe I need to go back to the Beardo of old, where everyone is a tit, where everyone is a liar, other than the people that I trust. It's a horrible way to think, but it seems like since I found this sort of good-natured version of myself, people are trying to take advantage of that. But oh well, you live and learn. I've tried to do something different to not put myself in a bracket with the toxicity that is aimed at the community. I've tried to steer myself and the community away from the more toxic side of things. But why are we toxic for being in uproar at all of this bollocks? Why are we toxic? Why are we nasty? And why are we bullies? Because we look at common sense, we look at editing mistakes and things like that, and then say, that's wrong. That shouldn't be happening. This is how it's been done. This is all a lie. And for calling that out, I'm toxic. And then my community and the comments are toxic. It's not toxic for people to be outraged that you got caught lying. You got caught faking. To shift the blame onto the debunkers and the community and your own fans that have finally seen the wood for the trees is far more toxic than me saying, that's him pushing that table, that's him pulling that string, uh-oh, there's those cuts. For me to put out a video saying these guys have no business in the house where a child is scared of their room, and to say that that house is definitely haunted because of dust or the odd piece of equipment going off, that's not toxic. The intention of that channel that did it in the first place is toxic. They haven't gone there with the intention of trying to find paranormal activity. They've gone there with the intention of lying to you, to lying to their audience, of lying to everyone. And they think that with a few words in an email or a text message or whatever, or in the comment sections to people, undoes that. It doesn't. But I'll tell you what it does do. It erodes the public trust. Because trust is essential in any field that claims to investigate the truth. And the erosion of this truth is pretty much the most insidious consequence of these fakers. When the public are repeatedly encountering sensationalized and falsified evidence that is later debunked, many become cynical, dismissive, not just of the fakers, but of the paranormal field as a whole. I bring out a video, this channel is fake. Their viewers turn up like, shit, you're right, I've supported this channel for years. None of them are real now. I get it all the time. People saying that they don't believe in the paranormal anymore. Some people don't even watch my debunking videos anymore that love this community. They just hang out for the gaming and the live streams because they've lost all heart in the paranormal. And that's sad. But I understand it. The internet is littered with viral ghost videos and demon encounters and supposed sightings of cryptids like Bigfoot, and even the untrained eye can look a little bit closer, have a little examination, and see that it's just some clever editing or outright fabrication. And every time somebody is exposed for faking, every time somebody is exposed for lying, cheating, it damages the faith of the believers, and it erodes any confidence that any future evidence may be authentic. But the onus of that doesn't fall on debunkers. It falls on the people making this content, because we've caught most of them numerous times, yet they're free to carry on. They are free to keep releasing the same bullshit, the same lies, the same fictional world week after week after week. People drink it in, and then when they're questioned on it, everyone else is wrong, everyone else is toxic. And in the long term, all it's going to do is lead to a widespread disillusionment. Real paranormal investigation channels are gonna get sick of it. Why can't I get the traction being honest? I'm knocking it on the head and calling it a day. Another way to look at it, what if somebody has a genuine paranormal experience in their real life? Could they then become reluctant to come forward with their story because they're going to get caught, they're going to get ridiculed. They'll get compared to the fakers. You know, I think I've got a poltergeist in my house. Things keep moving. What, you mean like Smug Puppy? I think there's something evil in my house. I'm genuinely scared of my own property. What, like really haunted? And so public trust in the paranormal diminishes. And then the potential for credible eyewitnesses, and by extension, credible research, it's been significantly reduced because people prioritise fame, clicks, views, and money. Now, some paranormal channels or fakers will often justify their actions by claiming that they were simply entertaining their audience. But those motivations, it goes far beyond entertainment. For most of these guys, it's about some sort of drive to stay relevant in an increasingly competitive online world. And it pushes them to create these elaborate hoaxes and fabricate even more ridiculous evidence. The rise of Smug Puppy on Facebook and TikTok, it's mind-blowing. And it seems there's a 50-50 split of people that are absolutely drinking it in and people that are like, this is the worst fake garbage I've ever seen. And that's exactly what it is. Now, Mr. Puppy or your daughter, whichever one of you, if you watch this video, I want to remind you of something you said to somebody behind the scenes a little while ago, probably about a year ago, that you were going to come forward and be honest about what you were doing. I'm aware of that conversation. You didn't know about it, but I'm aware of it. What happened to that? Because you were going to help us, the debunking community, out another well-known faker. But now it seems you're doubling down on it. You tried to befriend certain debunkers and, yeah, we're going to come out and say this, say that, say the other. But nah, greed. Greed made you put out your content and up the ante. And everyone with an ounce of common sense can see that your editing is slowly getting better. Really slowly getting better. But some of the things you're doing now, you cocked up a year ago. That's not coming clean. That's delving further into this bullshit. And then you have the cheek and audacity to feel attacked when somebody calls you out on it. Whilst I agree some of the comments about the state of your house are going too far, if you're gonna put your house on display for the general public, put the Hoover over, because it seems the only time that Hoover has moved in the last 18 months is when your fake fucking poltergeist touches it. Absolute joke. And let's, while we're on the subject, Side-Eye Guy mentioned this in his video on Really Haunted. It's the laziest, cheap, nasty content out there. You don't even have to leave your own home. Most of these guys are using knockoff brand cameras from AliExpress or Wish or Temu or whatever the fuck. They'll use this cheap shit and then get maximum income. It's almost smart. If it wasn't so immoral, because that's what it is. It's immoral. And instead of, some of them argue back, some of them stay completely silent, some of them take little jabs in the videos hoping that we'll notice it, and it's so pathetic. It is really pathetic. Yet if I make a joke or Seg makes a joke, oh, you bullying, nasty, horrible people. Disgraceful of you. If I want to make a joke at the expense of a scammer, like I just did with the Smug Puppy and the Hoover, that's on them. Why can't I mock or ridicule people that are flat out lying to everyone? They're lying. They're creating false hope. They're damaging, all the things I've listed already. Add to that false hope, and we'll get into that in a little bit. You put all of what they do together and how nasty and seedy that is. And then because one of us will call somebody a tit, or say, look at his big stupid head, why are you breathing so heavy through your nose, your mouth? Why are you talking so weird? Why are you doing this? Why can't we mock them? Why can't we mock these people for everything? Because what they are doing is inherently wrong. What they are doing is vile. And what's horrible is that it's the needs for likes, the needs for views, the needs for followers makes these channels defend their fraudulent actions, even when they are confronted with clear evidence that their material is fake. They still defend that. There's your editing mistake. There's your masking. There are your cuts. You're wrong. You're a liar. You're toxic. You're nasty. You're horrible. You're a bully. Look at your comment section. Yeah, because we pissed at you. We are all pissed off at you because you're lying, because you're fraudulently earning from the deceased, from the dead, and you're giving false hope. And I'm going to get into false hope. Your desire to maintain an illusion of authenticity leads to a cycle of lies, excuses, and then you've become so self-absorbed and so self-obsessed that you worry that admitting to a hoax would cost you some credibility and, dare we say, a little bit of popularity. Fakers are now being caught red-handed on a daily basis, yet they will refuse to own up to their deception. And the evidence is blatant and clear for everyone to see. Most people to see, because some fan bases are completely blinded to it. And instead, they double down. They accuse us of jealousy, claiming that the debunkers are some part of a broader conspiracy to suppress the truth. I've read that shit, honestly. All of us debunkers are faking our debunks in order to get across that the paranormal isn't real. What a load of shit. Most of the debunkers investigate. Most of the debunkers are believers. In fact, there's only 2 off the top of my head that are outright non-believers. And even then, Kenny Biddle and Mr. Grey want to be confronted by something they can't explain. They would love it. It would mean far more to them than any debunking video they put out. So don't tell us they are bad people. And then all of this sort of combative stance from the fakers is causing divisions within the paranormal community, because I sit as a debunker in the paranormal community. Whether the fakers like it or not, I am part of the paranormal community. Not only am I part of the paranormal community, but what I am doing is defending the paranormal community from your scam, from your lies. And what's happening now is people are being forced to pick a side. Do you pick a side with the more well-known fraudulent investigators, or do you side with the people that are exposing the truth, who are all on much smaller channels with a much smaller reach? I'm one of the bigger debunking channels out there, and my reach is minuscule compared to some of these big channels. Yet, why are these big channels so worried about me? Some of them don't care. Some of them have never ever addressed it. The biggest channel out there, Sam and Colby, they addressed it. They looked at our content over the Conjuring House and went, holy shit. And while Sam and Colby are the most famous paranormal YouTubers, they're also the ones full of the most bullshit. And it was easy for them to say, oh yeah, the Cody and Satori thing was wrong. I can't believe we fell for that. And then cut ties with the support, because then what they did was they shifted the blame for what, 7 years of their bullshit on YouTube. And they dumped all of that onto the shoulders of Cody and Satori. Whilst I still maintain Cody and Satori are not able to communicate with the dead, they seem to have shouldered all of the claims of fakery from the Sam and Colby investigation at the Conjuring House. I get Sam and Colby fans in my comment section. You called Sam and Colby fake, yet it was Cody and Satori. And I'm like, Cody and Satori didn't put the broken egg lady coming out of the stairs. That was clearly Chucky, their editor. That was Sam and Colby. And the debunks of Sam and Colby have since been overlooked because of the Cody and Satori drama. They should either hold that equally, or, dare I say it, Sam and Colby were the guys that made that video. Sam and Colby are the guys that put that content out there. Sam and Colby are the guys that put that shit in the cinema and then were surprised by the backlash. Where does the blame lie there with all of them? And now what's happening is the fakers are weaponizing their fan bases. We've seen Twin Paranormal do it, trying to take down a small channel, supporting their supporters going at a small channel. What they didn't count on was the debunkers coming to that small channel's needs and to his rescue to a degree. This guy has made very valid points. His video was far softer than the videos the rest of us put out. Why should he be treated like that? They weaponize the copyright feature on YouTube. This copyright thing is going to come to a head at some point, because people are starting to get into trouble, not in the paranormal community yet, but there are people getting into trouble on mainstream channels for false copyright claims. So the fakers often weaponize their fan base, and they're accusing legitimate researchers of being haters or gatekeepers who don't want others to succeed. It's bullshit. It's a defensive strategy that is shifting away the conversation from a genuine investigation, and it's turning into some sort of bullshit battle for online dominance. And that is further diverting the attention from the real goal, exploring the unknown, and then back to false hope. Fakers are doing some real harm by promoting false hope. Whether it's ghost hunters that pretend to communicate with a deceased loved one, or it's a cryptid chaser that fabricates evidence of some mysterious creature, those actions are actually preying on people that are searching for genuine answers. A lot of people out there will turn to a paranormal investigator or a paranormal investigation team because they have experiences that they cannot explain. Or, worse than that, because they're mourning. They're mourning the loss of a loved one, and in some ways they're seeking some closure. When fakers then promise evidence, which is the weekly videos, because every week they capture evidence, and then it's later revealed to be fraudulent, it's an exploitation. It's exploitation of vulnerable people. And this is an argument I started well over a year ago, and I backed off from it a little because I was causing ructions with certain teams that I support and teams that they work with that I don't like and all the rest of it. But fuck people's feelings right now. And I'm not talking about the teams that I enjoy, and I'm talking about those liars and those fakers. Fuck their feelings. And if I want to mock them, I'll mock them. And if any of the other debunkers want to mock them, I'll support them. Now, there are people out there that are desperate to believe because of grief. And this will fall in line with Smug Puppy, Laney and Ben before they stop their shit, and Really Haunted. Any evidence, no matter how absurd, no matter how implausible, can serve as a source of comfort to these people. However, when that evidence is exposed as fake, whether by a debunker or a follow-up video that they make where an editing mistake is present, it leaves people feeling betrayed, foolish, stupid, and that false hope and then that decimation of their hope, it can delay the process of grief. It can damage the coming to terms with grief. And what you're doing is perpetuating people becoming fixated on fabricated signs or fabricated messages from the dead, from the afterlife, rather than allowing them to confront their painful reality of loss. And I'm not talking about people in a third person here, because this is the damage this type of shit has done to me. I've never lied about it, I've never hidden it. My grandparents' deaths hit me hard. My best friend's death hit me really, really hard. And that kicked me back into this world, as well as watching some legitimate channels out there doing some really good work. And in this way, the fakers are not merely just sort of misleading the public. They are exploiting people's deepest emotions for personal gain. And when you put it like that, that's got to hit home a little bit, right? Especially to you guys that are faking. And you know who you are. You can pretend to be real all you want on camera and in comment sections, but you know what you're doing. Are you happy that you're exploiting people's deepest emotions, all for your own self-gratification? Because you fucking disgust me. So let's look at it from a different point of view. What about the scientific world? Are you discouraging scientific collaborations because of your bullshit? Because one of the long-term consequences of the prevalence of paranormal faking is that you discourage collaboration between legitimate paranormal researchers and the scientific community. Because for everything that could be a legitimate piece of evidence, there's 30,000 fake bullshit videos out there. TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Because while many of the fields of study such as psychology, physics and environmental science, which could all play a part in the paranormal, benefit for a collaboration with the paranormal and paranormal phenomena, the amount of hoaxes and bullshit out there right now is making it difficult for any serious researchers to engage with mainstream science. Your lies are making the paranormal a laughingstock that people won't investigate scientifically. And it's your fault. There are scientists out there that are hesitant to engage with anyone in the paranormal because they are concerned that their credibility is going to become damaged. And the prevalence of this fakery is just exacerbating hesitance from scientists. Scientists are less likely to risk associating with a field that is rife with fraud. That's the only way I can put it. But then what that means is when a serious paranormal investigator is unable to access sort of any expertise or resources from a scientific collaboration, the entire field suffers from that. All for you to line your pockets, all for you to be credible, all for you to be relevant. Because without peer review studies, and a lot of these words you're going to be looking at, what are you doing saying these words? These are all things that I've picked up from Kenny Biddle. Paranormal research will remain fringe or marginalised and may possibly never have any legitimacy because there's so much fraudulent activity out there. What the fakers are doing without realising is they are pushing a narrative that the paranormal is more entertainment than serious. And what they're doing is effectively closing the door on any further advancements that could arise from a collaboration with scientists, with the scientific community. You fakers, and you all know who you are. And I'm trying not to use too many names in this because I don't want to start World War III. I'm trying to talk some sense before I go back to just tearing people apart. You're faking in the paranormal community. It's damaging on multiple fronts. Your fabrications are undermining any serious investigators, you're eroding the public trust, and you're promoting false hope by people searching for answers, grieving people. By defending your fraudulent activity in the name of maintaining your public persona, you're creating divisions in the community. It's not the debunkers causing divisions within the community, it's you and your bullshit. And you are potentially derailing any genuine exploration, any scientific help. The broader public right now is becoming increasingly disillusioned. And they are disillusioned with the paranormal because of your hoaxes, not their beliefs. You're bolstering their beliefs that it's not real, and it may not be real. But we're finding it harder and harder to find anything real because everything is being brought into question because of your lies and your bullshit. Legitimate channels and researchers are facing an uphill battle because of you. They are, sometimes without knowing it, trying to rebuild the credibility that all of you fakers have damaged, and you have damaged it. For the future of the paranormal field, and I'm no spokesperson for it, I'm only speaking on my behalf here of the things that I'm seeing. It's essential that everybody in the paranormal community, absolutely everybody, whether you like debunkers or not, condemn fakery and push people to strive for transparency, push for skepticism, push for integrity. Because what we are trying to do is understand the unknown. And it's getting pushed to one side because of lies, false hope, and a popularity contest. Oh, I know this is a bit darker and a bit more mournful than other videos I've put out there, but it seems that some people have lost sight of why I do what I do. I, to a degree, have lost sight of doing what I do. You know, I'm sat here and reading emails off a channel that I've debunked recently, and he's defending the actions and saying that's not what you've claimed it to be, and I'm like, I start to question myself. And then when I question myself and I look again and I'm like, no, I'm right. I get angry. And then I'll put out a video like, this motherfucker, this guy done, I'm gonna wag my finger and get really angry. And that's when people will say, hey, that beardo's toxic, because they'll only look at that one bit, that outburst, because when I have outbursts, those videos do really well. And that's why I've stopped having those outbursts, as much as I want to do it, because trust me, when you fake your stuff, it angers me. And I would love nothing more than to tear all of you apart, to pull your footage apart, frame by frame by frame, whilst finger wagging, whilst screaming at you, whilst telling you you're full of shit, whilst making jokes at your expense, and whilst telling you that you were going to ultimately cause somebody to take their own life. But my message gets lost when I do things like that. That's why I've sort of transitioned into a more calm, more focused channel. That's why I'm less likely to butt heads with people and go at them, and why I'm trying to open my mind as a skeptic more. Open my mind to what these people could be believing or disbelieving. But then I see the shit they defend and I'm like, you know that's fake. You know that somebody has been pushing or pulling or editing. You know, and you defend that anyway. And then you vilify me, the side-eye guy, the Shape, Mr. Grey, the Ouija Brothers, Real Evidence, Ghosts on Trent. Because the debunkers and the real paranormal channels, and I haven't named them all, there's a whole host of them now. We're all seen as the villains because some of us expose your lies, and the paranormal channels that I just mentioned support the truth. And that's a danger to you. It may harm your pocket. It may harm your credibility. It may damage your public persona. You're a joke. All of you. All of you channels that I question, all of you channels that I've looked at and said you're fake, you're a joke. You are far more toxic, nasty, and manipulative than anything you accuse me and the other debunkers or the real channels of doing. Imagine editing things out of a frame to make things appear more ghostly and then have the audacity to turn the tides on debunkers. Look how toxic they're being. Look, they're picking on me because I'm a girl. We're not picking on you because you're a girl. We're picking on you because you're an asshole, because you're a liar, because you're a fraud. We're not picking on you because you have a different belief system. We're picking on you because you're mocking everyone else's belief system. We're not picking on you because you made a mistake. We're picking on you because we caught you lying. I'm going to wrap this up. It's probably gone on for quite a while. I'm looking at the timer. I've been recording for an hour and I've had to have taken bits out. This video may be a bit jumpy in places because I'm passionate. I'm passionate about the paranormal. I'm passionate about investigating the paranormal to come to a conclusion before I leave this mortal coil. Whether that be that the paranormal is real or all in my head, I don't know. But I want the answer. No matter what it is, that's what I'm looking for. And there are so many good people out there making some really good content. And there are so many people out there doing some really good work, and they don't even release content for the most part. And it's all undermined by showmanship and tomfoolery and bullshit, and then further undermined by, oh, I'm being bullied because I've been called out for lying. And if you don't like my attitude, look at something I said at the beginning of this video. I have been paranormal investigating since some of you were an itch in your daddy's pants. I have been investigating the paranormal longer than you've had a pulse. I am probably older than some of your parents. I was born in the 80s, a hard time to grow up according to some. I moved into adulthood in the late 90s. And back then, if you lied to people for financial gain, chances are you'd get a smack in the mouth. I'm not saying that people should get violent at all. That's the last thing that should happen. But there's got to be repercussions for your bullshit. Thank you if you have got all the way through to the end of this. I know this is a bit more down and somber, but I've got to say something because I am so frustrated right now. The people have sort of tried to take advantage of me having a better nature these days. You've probably heard this weird jingling sound all the way through the video, and it's bottle tops. I'm sat here playing with bottle tops while I'm recording to try and draw my attention away from losing my shit. Because I'm at the point where I'm about to lose my shit with some people. Because defending your lies by calling me a bully is unforgivable. Much love to you all. Beardo out.